On Fridays, Wales at 6. Charities in trouble. Gareth relies on help from this disabled support group. But tonight they're warning they face closure because of a rise in their national insurance bill.
If we're not able to secure any additional funding, yes, it would lead to the closure of the organisation, and I'm very clear about that.
Also on tonight's programme, Wales' golden boy is back. Lewis Rees-Zammit makes a shock return to rugby after trying his hand at American football. So is this just what the national side needs? Plus, surf's up, Kelsey takes to the waves, with the group helping everyone get on the water.
Join me on the Mice in Wrexham, where the language and culture is set to take centre stage at the Eisteddfod.
Hello, good evening. They provide essential support to those in need and employ thousands of people. But there's a stark warning tonight from one charity boss who says many organisations are on the brink of closure due to soaring costs. And Heather has been providing care for more than 30 years and currently supports 140 disabled adults, but is now having to find hundreds of thousands of pounds extra each year to cover expenses like the rise in national insurance, leaving them in a perilous position. Joanne Gallagher reports.
Happy birthday to you.
It's nobody's birthday, but this is a favourite song of Gareth and Zach's. They've lived together in this assisted living house with 24/7 care for more than 16 years. And for Sheila, the help her son gets is a lifeline.
They don't do everything for him, they do it with him. And that's really wonderful. So it doesn't take away their independence, it adds to it.
How important is it to get good care in place?
It's really, really vital. It makes me so happy, content and relaxed. And I've got to say, this is the first year in the last about 5 or 6 years we've actually are going on holiday, my husband and I together.
Both men have complex needs and they're supported by Anne Heather, a charity providing care for more than 140 people across North Wales. But they're struggling to keep going after the UK government put up national insurance contributions, they say, to cut waiting lists. But it's added thousands onto the charity's outgoings.
We have seen a £400,000 increase in our national insurance or tax contributions, really, as a consequence of that decision. And so we do need some additional funding from the local authorities, just to make sure that we will still be here after April the 1st. We have to hope that the local authorities actually sit down and recognise the risk that they're placing organisations like us under.
And that risk could mean job losses.
That's the hard fact of where we're at the moment, is that unless we have some positive noise coming out of the local authorities, that is the next move that I will be having to take as the Chief Exec.
Social care is a tricky path for councils to navigate. We know that they are facing huge financial pressures, and the Welsh Local Government Association has told us that social care is one of the biggest budgets. There's a shortfall of £223 million projected for next year, but whilst politicians and care providers try and get round the table to sort out a solution, it doesn't help those who are still in need of care.
Really good quality care in the community is what we should be doing for people like Gareth. What are we like as a society if we cannot support people like that properly? There must be a way to find out how we can do that.
The way, of course, is more money. How to do it is the question. Joanne Gallagher, ITV News, Wrexham.
Well, joining me now is Dr Lindsay Cordery-Bruce from the Wales Council for Voluntary Action. Thank you for your time this evening. Just how desperate is the current situation?
This isn't new to us. We're hearing the language of despair from across the sector since the national insurance increase from cancer care to homelessness to support like what we've just seen. The national insurance increase was quite a surprise to us, and it's left in excess of £100 million hole for Wales, and you can't just fundraise for that.
And just to be clear, the third sector fills in a lot of the gaps, as we've just seen in that film, left by the NHS and social care. How crucial are these organisations?
Well, they're the beating heart of Welsh communities. It's not just good people doing good things together because it's the right thing to do. There's a whole suite of professional services and safeguarding services that are provided by the third sector. People don't realise that out of the employment in Wales, we employ 10% of people in Wales. So it's a lot of staff and a lot of national insurance contributions.
And the question Gareth's mum was asking, I mean, what would happen to someone like Gareth if that organisation wasn't there?
Well, this is the biggest concern for families who are able to step in and provide care. I think it's going to slide back to them. We know that statutory services are already full, and it's our call to government is we just can't let this happen. We've got to get behind our charities.
Who's to blame?
It's not about blame. I think there's been some unintended consequences from UK government. I don't think that this was fully assessed when the national insurance increase was brought in. What we've got to do now is look at what we can do, where the hope is, and how we can bolster the resilience of charities to get through it.
I mean, UK government said they had to make tough decisions. Welsh government say they are supporting the sector. What's the answer here?
Well, there's three things that people can do. Choose a cause you care about, get behind your local charity, especially the small ones. That's where the magic of our sector is. If you are doing business with our sector, there's a new funding code of practice from Welsh Government. That's a step-by-step guide of what good looks like. And also there's a new loan product that we've just launched at WCVA called Bridge and Build. And that's to help charities just get over the hump until their restructure takes effect or the big grant comes in to just try and help keep the doors open.
OK. Dr Lindsay Cawdry-Bruce, thank you very much indeed.
Diolch yn fawr.
Elsewhere tonight, two former staff members of a residential children's home have appeared in court charged with a series of historical offences. Angus Riddell from Aberdare and Robin Griffiths, who now lives in Devon, worked at the Coed Glass Centre in Abergavenny between the 1970s and the 1990s. Both deny the charges. Richard Morgan reports.
In a hearing which lasted an hour, Angus Riddell and Robin Griffiths denied a combined total of 45 charges of historic offences against children. The allegations, which relate to children as young as 9, spanned an 18-year period when both defendants were working at the Coed Glass Assessment Centre, a residential home for children in Abergavenny run by the former Gwent County Council, which closed in 1995. Now, Angus Riddell, who's 69, denies 38 offences, including indecent assault, attempted indecent assault and child cruelty. 65-year-old Robin Griffiths denies indecent assault and attempted indecent assault on 2 children. Both men were released on conditional bail and a provisional trial date has been set for January 2027. Richard Morgan, ITV News at Merthyr Crown Court.
2 teenagers have pleaded not guilty to the murder of a 38-year-old father in Barry. Cameron Aman was found injured with a knife wound just before midnight on the 30th of June. An inquest heard that Mr Aman died of a single stab wound to the chest. The 2 youths, who can't be named because of their ages, deny murder. Welsh rocker Dave Edmonds is seriously ill in hospital after suffering a major cardiac arrest. In a social media post, his wife Cece said that the 81-year-old musician briefly died in her arms before being resuscitated. The Cardiff-born singer is best known for I Hear You Knocking, which was Christmas #1 back in 1970. Former Welsh rugby star Lewis Rhys-Zammit has announced he'll be returning to the sport. The 24-year-old left the national side 2 years ago, you'll recall, to pursue a career playing in the NFL in America. Rhys-Zammit spent time with the Kansas Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars, but never played a regular season game for them. Well, our sports reporter Matt Southcombe joins me now. Matt, did we see this coming?
Yes and no in some ways, John. Look, Lewis Rhys-Zammit's physical prowess, his speed, is what really set him apart in rugby. But in the NFL, that was never going to be enough. He was competing with players who dedicated their entire lives to making it in that sport. So he had so much ground to make up. He leaves the NFL, as you say, having never taken a regular season snap. The writing was on the wall recently when he was removed from the Jaguars' active roster, and there have been reports that he's been missing training with a back injury as well. So it's not entirely surprising, John.
All that being said, he's coming home. This could be a huge boost for the national side and for rugby.
Absolutely, it's a huge boost for the sport. One of the game's bona fide superstars coming back, and it's a real gift for new Wales head coach Steve Tandy. If he's fit and ready to go, Lewis Rhys-Sammet, one of the first names on the team sheet for those November autumn internationals. Where will he play his club rugby though? That's the big question. It's really late in the summer to be doing this, so the timing is quite surprising. Most teams have spent their budgets by now, so it's all about finding a side that has got the money to be able to afford his pretty sizable wages. That means that the Welsh clubs are probably going to be priced out of these negotiations. It means English and French clubs are the likely destinations, and of course there are no guarantees that he'll be ready to hit the ground running either. You know, he hasn't played this sport for nearly 2 years. Now, though, it's a race for his management team to find a club that can afford him and get him back on the rugby pitch with the season just around the corner.
Well, interesting times ahead. Matt, thanks for talking to us. Well, still to come, Ruth is here with a forecast for the weekend.
Yes, I am, and busy is all I can say for now. Make the most of the sunshine tomorrow because there's a storm brewing and it could be an interesting start to next week.
Well, despite the forecast, the show must go on at the National Eisteddfod.
Yes, John, it's a bit windy, but the sky is blue for now and the stage is set for next week's competitions. I'll be finding out what you can expect as Wrexham says a big croesaw on Monday.
But first tonight, many of us enjoy heading to the beach over the summer months, but one woman's holiday to the Pembrokeshire coast turned into a nightmare when she got caught in a rip current during an early morning swim. Joanna Hicks was found lifeless in the water by rescuers, but despite only having an estimated 1% chance of survival, she thankfully beat the odds. Lewis Rhys-Jones reports.
Smiling and sharing a warm embrace, this is the moment the rescued met the rescuer. A strong and confident swimmer, Joanna Hicks was on holiday in Newgale a couple of years ago when she got into difficulty in the sea. The reason she's able to share her story now is down to the people she has come back to thank.
I now know I was in a rip current, and I suppose I think I still would struggle to see a rip current even now. I'm aware of it. Obviously the sea is an unpredictable place, and I think anybody can get caught out. You know, I am extremely lucky that all these services were there and they came, and that I had Matty who came to the beach on that day, and he found me in the surf and brought me ashore. I mean, he has all the RRI training to do these things, and he put it into practice on that day and did it absolutely brilliantly. And without that, you know, I would not be here today.
Joanna had been in the water 40 minutes before Matty found and rescued her.
I just thought, if that was my mum, what would I like to do? So, what would I like someone to do? So I just sort of sat there and held her hand and made sure that she wasn't on her own for that bit of time. And then, yeah, we took her up towards the helicopter. And at that point I thought that I wasn't going to see her again, and sort of 2 weeks later I got the news that she'd woken up, and thankfully, miraculously, we're able to meet each other again.
Joanna's heart had stopped 3 times and her chance of survival was just 1%. Fortunately, the Welsh Air Ambulance gave the care she needed to survive on the beach.
We were called and brought essentially intensive care. We brought the critical care services to her at scene, and then she was airlifted to hospital where her care continued. So, you know, it's just great to see that all of that chain, basically the chain of survival as we call it, you know, worked for Joanna, and she's here to tell the story today, and it just makes the job worthwhile when you get to meet somebody that survived that process. It's just phenomenal.
While this may be a story of survival and beating all the odds, it also serves as a stark reminder of the dangers you could face when swimming in the sea. Lewis Rhys-Jones, ITV News, Newgale.
What an amazing story. Now, a charity which looks after hedgehogs is calling on Torfaen Council to scrap the netting it uses to cover the recycling boxes. It's after a rise in the number of hedgehogs getting caught in the nets, which can kill them. The council says it's phasing them out and is urging residents to store them safely. Well, Megan Boot is at Hedgehog Helpline HQ, no less, tonight. Megan.
Thanks, John. Yes, we're in the sort of A&E unit, if you like, for the hedgehogs. I'm delighted to say we're joined by Sarah, the hospital manager. Sarah, welcome to Wales at 6. The hedgehogs are kind of hiding at the moment, but tell me, what is it that happens here?
So we admit sick, injured and orphaned hedgehogs that people, members of the public, have found. They bring us in to us for various reasons. The highest majority of them are sick and injured. Any operations are carried out by Graham, our vet. We create a treatment plan for them, have parasitic burdens, so they will have that full plan mapped out for them, and then the idea is they're all released back to the wild.
Sarah, thank you. Right, let's go and meet Graham. He's outside. Come with me, Graham. We're talking today because you've got a lot of concern about these nets. They're on top of recycling boxes in Torfaen. Tell us what the worry is.
Well, the concern is obviously hedgehogs are attracted to these nets because of the food that's contained in the boxes, and they get because of their prickles, they get completely caught up in them,
right,
and that can lead to quite serious injuries and ultimately death. We see a lot of this, and it's something we really want to, we feel it's something that's easy to remedy,
yeah,
and it's totally preventable by withdrawing these nets. We've been in touch with Torfaen for the last 4 years, and they haven't done much, if anything, to do about it, and these nets are still being used.
OK, Graham, thank you very much. Well, we've spoken to Torfaen Council, and firstly they've said thank you to this organisation for the work that they and others do in keeping local wildlife safe. They've said in the last year or so they haven't actually bought any more nets, and they ask residents that if they are using these nets to do so really carefully. There are other things that they can use, including these red bags with the sort of sealable flap to do that. But John, I think as you can see, a lot of work goes here to make sure these hedgehogs are kept safe, can go back into the wild. But a really important reminder for people watching tonight to be careful on what they're doing with their recycling and to really think about that local wildlife that's all around us.
And thank heavens there are places like that. Megan, thank you very much indeed. A reminder of tonight's top story. There's a stark warning from one charity boss who says many organisations are on the brink of closure due to soaring costs. And Heddai has been providing care for more than 30 years and currently supports 140 disabled adults, but is now having to find hundreds of thousands of pounds extra each year, leaving them in a perilous position. And still to come on the ITV Evening News.
Coming up, plans for a third runway at Heathrow take off. Airport bosses say Heathrow must expand and modernise, but the battle over the environmental and local impact is far from finished. Sheffield Wednesday in crisis, an uncertain future for one of Britain's oldest football clubs. And the name's Knight, Stephen Knight, from Peaky Blinders to 007, the screenwriter for the next James Bond film, is announced. Join with those stories and more at 6:30.
Yes, all that to come. Now, Cefn Llydan in Carmarthenshire is a favourite among beachgoers for its 8-mile stretch of beautiful golden sand. It's also a top spot for surfing, particularly those who are new to the sport. On tonight's Coast and Country, Kelsey Redmore hits the waves for the first time herself.
Wales is spoilt for choice when it comes to beaches. And I'm heading to one of the longest beaches that is 8 miles long. Yes, 8 miles long, which makes it perfect for adventures.
My adventure is taking place on Cefn Llydan, which is simply stunning. It's where the forest meets the sea. Benedict Broom runs Surf Pen Bray, which focuses on inclusivity.
This is an absolutely gorgeous beach, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's about 8 miles long. So really big expanse, really nice and accessible. So we actually have vehicle access here as well, so we can bring kit and people that might struggle with a barrier to participate on the ocean. Today we've got a really lovely, good-sized swell running. We've got a slight onshore wind, which is quite safe for you as well, because it's only going to blow you back to the beach.
Ooh, that's good for me to know. As a complete beginner, someone who's never surfed before, never even stepped on a board, how do you think I'm going to fare out there?
Well, so of all the beaches, so I've been teaching surfing for 20 years, and this beach is one of the best ones because of the topography of the land and the belengthemy of the seabed. So it means it's not so severe. The wave isn't breaking sharp and steep. Go out there and have a laugh. If you wipe out, come up, have a little laugh, yeah? It's all about the enjoyment in it. We always say the best surfer is the one having the best time out there.
And then we're off into the surf. I start off gently. And then gradually, amazingly, I stand up. I'm blown away by that. I am so chuffed. That was amazing. I have never surfed before, never even been on a board before, and I was shocked that I even got up to my knees and then actually stood up twice. I am blown away, and I think I'm a little bit in love with surfing right now. So I might have to go back out there and try it again.
Well, we're all impressed, and you can see more of that on Coast and Country. That's tonight at 7 o'clock here on ITV Cymru, Wales. Well, Ruth is here, safe and dry, installed in the studio. We're gearing up for a weekend. How's it looking weather-wise?
Safe and dry for now, I think is probably the best way of putting it. But I think it's going to be busy with all eyes on a storm that is brewing. But I suspect it'll take more than a storm officially named Floris to deter the 150,000 people who are expected to visit Wrexham over the next week or so as this year's National Eisteddfod gets underway. And Ella Lloyd is on the mice for us tonight. Ella, how are preparations going there this evening?
Hiya, yeah, a big croeso and welcome to Wrexham from all of us on a very windy night at the Eisteddfod Genedlaethol National Eisteddfod 2025, and I'm joined now by Betsan Moses, who is the CEO of the National Eisteddfod. Betsan, how excited are you?
We're really excited. You know, this is the work of 2 years in coming together, and you know, we've worked with the local community, and you know, this is the fruit of their labour, and they've been here today, and you know, everybody's saying it's a lovely mice, and they're just excited to open tomorrow at 7:30.
And there's been so much preparations going on. We've been seeing today, you know, from your staff to stallholders, everyone really pushing to get everything ready for when people arrive. How much work goes into this over the year?
You know, we work with the community for 2 years, and you know, we raise money, we raise awareness, and also then you work with the business community, and you work with artists. You know, there are over 1,000 events happening during this week, so you know, it's an eclectic mix of people coming together to realise it.
And what can people expect if they're coming to the Eisteddfod this year? You know, what can they look forward to?
Well, you can hear one of the concerts performing at the moment, they're rehearsing. So you've got concerts, you've got competitions, you've got ceremonies, you've got circus skills, you've got theatre, street theatre, you've got science and technology, you've got poetry slams. The list is endless. There's something for everybody.
And what is your one top tip for people coming to the Eisteddfod? What should they not miss out on? What should they not forget?
Come early, because there's so many things to see, and come for the day, you know, and we're open until 10:30 at night, so enjoy it.
There's something for everyone
here,
really, isn't there?
Most definitely.
Betsan Moses, thank you ever so much for your time. Diolch yn fawr, and we're really looking forward to seeing what you have to offer over the next week.
Thank you.
Well, if you want to see more, my colleagues Joanne Gallagher and Carol Green will have all of the action over the next 7 days on Wales at 6 and over the weekend bulletins. But if you'd like a little something extra, you can watch me and join me on Backstage at the Eisteddfod Sunday at 6.
Ella, thank you so very much indeed for joining us this evening. A few grey skies behind Ella there, and I think largely that sums up the next couple of days. There will certainly be more grey skies. We're going to talk about that in a moment. So as far as the general setup for the coming weekend is concerned, make the most of the sunshine tomorrow if you can. And there certainly will be plenty of that sunshine. And then as we head through Saturday, late Saturday night and into early Sunday, we'll see a band of rain starting to arrive, and that will bring some cloud and showers. But that will disappear by the time we get into Sunday afternoon. So Sunday afternoon is looking pretty decent after a slightly slow start. However, it's into Monday where things really do become just a little bit more eventful. And North Wales and Wrexham, I'm sorry to say, the Eisteddfod, currently covered by a yellow weather warning that runs from 6 o'clock Monday morning until 6 o'clock Tuesday morning. Now, we could see winds gusting up to 50 or 60 miles an hour. That will blow tents down if you are thinking of camping across northern and western parts. And we could also see up to 60 millimetres of rain falling too. It's not unprecedented at this time of the year. It's just not very nice. Now, then, if I show you all of this on the bigger picture, you can see that that area of low pressure storm Floris will rattle through quite quickly. So it is for one day. By Tuesday, it'll all be over and done with. In the meantime, here are the details.
Today sees sunshine, sand and a spell of bamboo rafting. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
So it's not looking too bad at all out there at the moment. We've got some lovely evening sunshine, still a little bit of a breeze, but no complaints. We could see just a few showers cropping up overnight tonight, but nothing you're going to notice. Generally speaking, a calm, quiet and dry night. The temperatures you will certainly notice, though, a real chill developing, particularly in more sheltered spots where we could see lows of around 5 or 6 degrees. Not normal for this time of the year, a little bit unusual, but still a little bit of a shock to the system as we wake then to the start of tomorrow morning. A chilly start, but a bright and beautiful start. And Saturday, as I've been saying, is certainly shaping up to be the better day of the weekend. Make your plans for tomorrow. Lots of blue sky and sunshine. Maybe just a little bit of high-level cloud bubbling up into the afternoon. Maybe a spot of drizzle, but over the hills and mountains. So again, you're not likely to notice it too much. And actually, with even less of a breeze than we've had out there today, it's been quite gusty. Temperatures will feel very fine, particularly in that sunshine. 22, 23 inland. Maybe just a little bit fresher if you are heading out towards coastal areas. And we do still have high levels of UV, so just be careful. Now, as we head through Saturday night, the cloud will start to build. So if you are heading out and about, we're really talking about sunset afterwards. So it'll be a decent night through Saturday, but then early hours of Sunday and Sunday morning, we've got a frontal system that'll work its way across us, and that will bring some cloud and rain, but clearing from Wales during Sunday morning. So Sunday afternoon will look an awful lot more cheerful than the way we start the day. And then I'm really sorry to say it does go horribly downhill. As I've been saying, Storm Floris arrives on Monday, and you can see across much of the UK, it's going to be miserable, with northern and western coastal areas here really feeling the force.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
It feels wrong to end on a storm, so we'll skip over that. And for the rest of next week, and of course for the Eisteddfod, it's actually not looking too bad at all. So bear with, as they say.
Positive thinking.
We got this.
Katie Fenton has the late update after news at 10, but from all the team, thanks for watching this week.